I'm Coach Sean, and tonight we're going to be cooking one of my favorite meals, spaghetti, chicken, and marinara. Now this is going to count for one of your leans, all three of your greens, and 2 to 3 condiments depending how you look at it. Let's take a look at some of the ingredients. Alright, so we're going to need 6 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken breast, 2 tablespoons of reduced fat Parmesan cheese, a 1/4 cup of Rouse's marinara sauce, 1 cup of spaghetti squash, and Mrs. Dash's chicken seasoning, as well as her hot and spicy seasoning. Now that you know what you need, let's start cooking. First, we're going to take our spaghetti squash right here. We're just going to make some slits right along the inside of it. So you're just going to take your knife, careful, just random slits all over it. Now this is going to be the quick way of cooking a spaghetti squash. If you also had a lot of time, you could cook it in the oven with a little bit of olive oil and brown it on up in there. But unfortunately, in today's society, we don't always have a lot of time. So this is a quick little easy meal that we can make on the fly. Boom. Got all your slits right in there. You can see just randomly placed here. We're going to pop it in the microwave. Now when we put it in here, we're going to want to just lay it on its side, and we are going to, that can stay on there, I guess. We're just going to cook it for 8 minutes on one side. As soon as 8 minutes is up, we are going to flip it over and cook it for another 8 minutes. So now while that's cooking, we have our frying pan right here. Let's just get it nice and hot. Let's preheat that up. All right, we got our spaghetti squash at about 6.5 minutes. Pan's nice and warm. We're going to take our chicken, pop it right in the pan. Now this is definitely more chicken than what you're going to use, but when I do cook my proteins, I like to cook enough so I have a couple, some for the next day pretty much, for my next meal. This will feed you for a couple days as well. All right, we got our chicken there. We're now going to take some of our seasonings. I'm using Mrs. Dash chicken, and this one's optional, but I do like spicy food, so we're also using Mrs. Dash extra spicy. Just pop some on there. Good. Now some chicken. Perfect. We are done with those. So now we're back here. We got about 3 minutes left to go on the spaghetti squash. The chicken's cooking on medium to medium-high heat. I'm getting ready to flip this chicken right now. Let's flip this. Go ahead. Boom, nice and white. And now I'm going to add a little bit of water to this chicken. I do this because I think it helps keep the chicken a little juicy. All right, cool. We got the water boiling, the juice is simmering. The timer's got about 10 seconds till we flip our spaghetti squash. Another reason why we do this whole water thing is it just brings out a flavor and all the spices that are in there, and we're actually going to reduce that down. Oh, here we go. Cool, so you're just going to be very careful. It is going to be a little hot. Turn it 180 degrees on its other side. Boom. We're going to cook the spaghetti squash for another 8 minutes. All right, our spaghetti squash is almost done. Let's just give these one more turn. All right, we can go ahead and turn the stove off. Let's let these cool down for a minute. All right, there's the spaghetti squash. So we should probably let this cool down for a couple minutes, but what ultimately we're going to do is just cut it right in half. Whew. All right, so that's what it looks like. So now what we got to do is we have to take out all the middle part right here, all the seeds and just the little bit of guts kind of right here. All right, and so that is what it should look like when it's ready to eat. Now, while that's kind of cooling down, let's weigh out our chicken. So for this recipe, we can have 6 ounces of chicken breast. Turn on our scale. We're just gonna say 5.7. So we can have a little bit more. We'll call that 6. 7.2, close enough. So you're going to want 6 ounces of chicken breast. Once you weigh it out on your scale, spaghetti squash still cooling off. Let's cut this into little bite-sized pieces. So there's our chicken. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our fork and we're just going to scrape out the inside of this spaghetti squash. That's how you're going to get your spaghetti. Let's place our serving bowl on our trusty scale. All right, let's zero it out. Perfect. So now, a half a cup of spaghetti squash counts as 1 green. If you were just to take a half a cup of that spaghetti squash, put it in like a half a measuring cup, it's not going to be the same as if you were to weigh it out. So we're actually going to use the weight, and a half a cup of spaghetti squash equals 77.5 grams. So we're going to do that twice. So if you want to just be careful, just going to do this to the spaghetti squash. Boom, until you got some, then we can just put it right here and we'll weigh it out. So that's 63, 70, 75. Close enough. So now we're going to zero it out. We're going to do that one more time.
Take this, pop it right on there. That's 60. So we get a little bit more.
And when you're scraping it, you can actually go all the way down to the skin. All right, so that's 86. We were a little short on the last one. We're a little much on this one. It'll all even out. So, boom, we have the right amount of spaghetti squash. Now what we can do, we can take our chicken. Just put our chicken right on top. So we have our chicken here. Then, part of one of our condiments is going to be 2 tablespoons of reduced fat Parmesan cheese, which is right here. And we're also, the sauce is going to be Rouse homemade marinara sauce. And for this, we can have a 1/4 cup. A 1/4 cup of this equals 1 green. So we're just going to take our sauce, put it on there like that. We're going to take our cheese and just sprinkle it on there. Perfect. This is what you have. Spaghetti, chicken, and marinara. 1 lean, 3 greens, 2 condiments. That's Cooking with Coach Sean. Check out my website, coachsean.live. Enjoy. Whew. That was delicious. Not only does it taste good, it was fast, it was simple. Everything that you did see me use here today, whether it be the sauce, the cheese, the scale, that's all available on my website, coachsean.live. Go right on over to the store and get yourself some. Also, in the forum section will be the vegetable weight conversion chart. So that'll tell you, that's how I got like a half a cup of squash equals 77.5 grams. It'll also convert cooked vegetables to raw vegetables. So go check that out. It's in the forum section. Let me know if you have any questions.